Did you have a good break? Play with your dog? Or what did you do? Okay, I know you're just fooling around. I mean, when I have the course online, I know my students were always doing that with their handset in front and the PC in the back. So it looks like they are hardworking, but they are playing game. I guess you're doing that too, right? Anyway, so let's come back to this agreement. It was happened on 1981, March the 3rd, and initiated by President Samaranch, who was so friendly to Taiwan and very smart people, very smart person. So this agreement between the International Olympic Committee, Lausanne, and the Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, Taipei, what's in there? Why did I say so many times? He's very smart. Okay. So in the Olympic Charter, before this agreement, the Olympic Charter, so all the delegation to the Olympic game is represent the country. So that's the country's representation. And also, all the team use the national flag as well as the national anthem. So if these articles, this regulation remains, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. Because like United Nations, they don't recognize us as a country. And for a lot of countries, they don't recognize us as a country. They recognize the other side of the strait as the China. But in the previous Olympic Charter, it says the delegation is the national delegation with the national flag and the national flag. How President Samaranch deal with that? He said, okay, let's change the charter. Let's change the charter. From now on, all the team is the NOC's delegation. It represents the National Olympic Committee. And all the team use the National Olympic Committee's flag as well as the National Olympic Committee's anthem. So you see, shift from nation to NOC. Is that smart? Of course, very smart. Very smart. But probably you would like to, so who is the NOC? Remember, all the NOC has to be recognized by the International Olympic Committee. So at that time, the IOC says, okay, I recognize you, Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, as the NOC. For what? Anyway, you are the NOC. So he recognized us the NOC. And of course, we need an NOC flag, also an NOC anthem. Something weird here. Okay, you say, then how come all other countries, they're playing their national anthem and using their national flag? Yeah, their national anthem is their NOC anthem. Their national flag is happen to be their national flag. But for us, the NOC flag, well, it's different from the national flag. The NOC anthem always different from the national anthem. Anyway, those are approved by the IOC. So the President Samaranch find a way to twist the structure, So shift from the representation of a country to the representation of the NOC. That solve all the problem. But the only cost is we have to use a name. We don't like it. But anyway, we are protected. He's smarter than that. The Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee. So if the short writing is C, what's happened? Guess. So you see all the athletes, they're in a line into the field. So if we're under C, so which country were in front of us? Guess. China Olympic Committee. So if China Olympic Committee walk in front of us, so then here comes Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee. I guess most of the foreigners, they have no idea what's happened. I mean, you guys look the same. Brown eyes, black hair. Hopefully I still have black hair. And yellow skin. So they will think, they will believe we are part of China. So he said, okay, your shorthand is TPE. TPE. So you walk under T instead of C. So we don't have to walk behind China. We're in T. So in the IOC directory, we are Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee with the short writing TPE and under T. Isn't he smart? He's very smart. Politically, he's very smart and very smart person, and he's very friendly to us. So if you believe we are very fortunate to still have the right to become part of the IOC family, to be in the game and enjoy the normative rights as all other NOCs, we have to really appreciate President Summeridge. Okay, this is the original document. In my age, I have to get this close to read it. And for the signature, well, just a record. Okay, so that's to show you. So it was signed, the representation for IOC is the President Summeridge. And for Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, it was the President Shen Jiaming, who was the president at that time. I think he must be very happy to be part of the history and to be recognized, and his name will be there for a very, very long time. Okay, so what is the important point of this agreement? First, the NOC here is called Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, and we use our NOC flag, NOC anthem, which were approved by the IOC, although they are not our national flag and national anthem. And we enjoy the normative rights as well as all other 205 NOCs. And in the IOC directory, we are Chinese Taipei, short writing is TPE, and under the order T. And also, according to a letter received by Mr. Henry Xu, we just mentioned this gentleman, Xu Heng, from the president of IOC at the year 1984, Los Angeles Olympic Games, it stated those facts. So they're all there. They're documented. Okay, well, looks like the world become very beautiful and our step can be very smooth and we can sleep very sound and well. So let's take a look after the year 1981, after the agreement. Wow. So 1984, Los Angeles, United States, we call Chinese Taipei. We don't like it, but we're okay. 1988, Seoul, Korea, Chinese Taipei. 1992, Barcelona, Spain, Chinese Taipei. And 1996, Atlanta. Oh, forgive me. I should erase this one. It's my fault. Okay. Atlanta, United States, we are called Chinese Taipei. And the year 2000, Sydney, Australia, Chinese Taipei. The year 2004, Athens, Greece, Chinese Taipei. Even in the year 2008 in Beijing, we are still using the Chinese Taipei, because it is recognized by the IOC. So all the family members in IOC has to follow this regulation, follow this rule. And year 2012, London, United Kingdom, Chinese Taipei. 2016, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Chinese Taipei. Well, something's still wrong. We are talking about Olympic Games, but there is another very, very important game called Asia Game, 亚运, Asia Game. we won a lot of medals. I mean, in the Olympic game, it's so difficult. You compete with the whole world. And for some reason, the way our shape and in a lot of games is very difficult to compete. But in the Asia game, we are quite competitive and we did very well in Asia game. So what's wrong in the Asia games? Let's see. In the year 1954, the Asia game was in Manila. And that was the first time. Oops, typo, sorry. That was the first time we participated in the Asia game. And then in the year 1970, was in Bangkok. And then something was missing. Start the year 1974 through the year 1986. We're not in the Asia game at all. What's wrong? You want to take a guess? Want to take a guess? And we're there again on the year 1990 in Beijing. And our name is, this is not a typo. Our name is 中华台北, Chinese Taipei. So what's wrong? Why we're missing for 20 years? What's wrong? So if you're guessing, it must be something related to those guys on the other side of the street. Oh yeah, definitely. What else? Okay, so look back to the 1981, the agreement. Hi folks, the agreement was on English. Have you seen any Chinese character on that? No, there's only English. So our NOC's name, recognized by IOC, is called Chinese Taipei. So we use Chinese Taipei in the whole world. No problem at all. But why? There are so many whys. Okay. Here's the answer. The agreement did not involve the NOC's Chinese name. So there's no Chinese name in the agreement. Okay, so this problem is kind of very serious too, because we want to be in the Asia game. That's our arena too. So at the year 1989, April 6, we signed an agreement with mainland China. So that agreement was between Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee and the China Olympic Committee. So there are basically two points. One is everything will be based on the IOC rule and the Lausanne Agreement, which is the agreement on 1981. And the second thing is, if the Chinese name has to be used, we are called 中华台北. Which is a direct translate of the Chinese Taipei. So you must be thinking, oh gosh, this is funny. I mean, Chinese Taipei is 中华台北. No, we need the official document on that. So since we don't have the official document, so we're missing in the Asian game for 20 years. See how serious was that? Okay. That agreement was signed with Secretary General at that time, Chinese Taipei, Li Qinghua. And for the representation from China is the President He Zhenliang. They signed this agreement. So this one has no English. So there is only the Chinese version. So let's look at that. He said, Taiwan area sports team, if they went to mainland for games. You see here? The good part is we are an area and they are not a country. So we are on the equal position. So this is a Taiwan area and they simply called mainland. They are not even China. Okay, so when they are signing these kind of things, this kind of official document, you have to be very, very careful. So you have to be on a balanced status. Okay, so in the end, he said the name has to be called 中华台北, called 中华台北. Okay, so this was signed 1989, April the 6th. So we solved the problem for our English name, which was recognized in the whole world, and under the arrangement of President Samaranch, IOC. And now we solve the other problem with the mainland China. For the Chinese name, we are called 中华台北, 中华台北, which is the direct translation of Chinese Taipei. Okay, so when we are talking about Olympic model, 奥会模式, when we are talking about Olympic model, the point is like this. We are Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, and we use our NOC flag. We use our NOC anthem, and the short writing is TPE under T, and the Chinese name is 中华台北. So basically, at the very first beginning, the Olympic model is only ABCD. But starting 1989, the last one here, and make it complete. So we use these rules, go all over the world, and this rule protect our athletes, protect their right, so they can have the right, they can have the opportunity to participate all the games. They've been working so hard for that. So we have to show a lot of respect for those athletes. They start their training when they are very young. So when you guys are playing outside, you went to KTV, you went to you're playing the electronic game, they are training under the sun, in the wind, in the rain. They don't have that much happiness as you do. They really sacrifice for that. And for what? For what? For win. For the kind of exercise and sport they love. They really sacrifice and contribute a lot. Do you know how many opportunities can you have in Olympic game? Usually just once, if you're qualified. So if you meet some athlete, went to the Olympic game, and without winning any medals, don't laugh at him. Be qualified as a player, as an athlete in Olympic game. It's a great achievement already. Think about that. For the Tokyo 2020, there are only 11,000 athletes. Think about that. How many athletes are there in the world? So they are the elite. They are the best of the best. Even though they probably won't win any medals, like most of the participants there. But they are great. They are really great. So give your hands for them. They are really wonderful. They should be our role model. They should be our role model. Okay. For the Olympic model, if we follow the regulation, we follow the rule, so what do we get? We enjoy the normative rights as all other National Olympic Committees. Also, on the other hand, there's rights, there's obligation, there's the balance. We fulfill our obligation. We enjoy our right. We fulfill our obligation. In addition to that, since there's an Olympic model, since there's a name called Chinese Taipei, and this name are widely used by our country to participate a lot of international affairs and organizations. For example, APEC. For example, OECD. For example, WTO. Although the full name of WTO is not Chinese Taipei, but the short writing is Chinese Taipei. So the Olympic model don't just influence the area of sports, it influences the status of our country. So if there's no such name called Chinese Taipei, it will also limit our country to participate in the world affair. So it's really, really important. I know you don't like it. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. But at the present, that's our only choice. Can we change that? Well, maybe in the future. We need a timing. And probably some people doesn't like to change that. But anyway, at the present, that's something. I mean, one of our senior person says, Chinese Taipei is not a burden. It's not a burden. It's a right. It's a protection. It's a protection. So under this name, which we don't like, we are protected 100%, especially in the International Olympic Committee family. Under this umbrella, we are fine. We are fine. Okay, so all the problems are solved. Are we live happily forever now? No. No. Do remember, there is someone on the other side of the street. They don't want to dance with us. And we don't want to dance with them either. So, well, all kinds of things happen. All kinds of things happen. Let me give you some example. So, on the year 2019, the Asian Cup qualifier. What kind of language is this? It's Vietnamese. Vietnamese. So all you people here in this training course, in the future, you will probably have the opportunity to go out with our team, to support them, to help them. Help them for what? For this kind of situation. So you have to go there to protect our right, to make sure the Olympic model is executed perfectly. That's going to be your job. So I know, today this 2 hours is totally very boring. I hate history. But they are so important because that's something you're going to face. You're going to face. So you'd better get prepared. So this one. So even in the Vietnamese. So what's happened there? What's happened there? They see that in that game, our name has been changed to China Taipei. You see, China Taipei and Chinese Taipei, for most of the people, they, what's this? Big deal. Big deal. Oh, it's actually a big deal. China Taipei, Chinese Taipei, very different. One is China, the other is Chinese. They are very different, okay? They are very different. That's why we insist on the Chinese Taipei. So for a lot of people in this class before, they do have this experience. They went abroad with the team for the games, for competition, for conference. They go there 1 day earlier or a little bit earlier to check the area, to check the name card, to make sure everything is right. If anything is not comfortable with anything, you just have to do something to correct that. It's going to be your job. So pay attention to this boring class. The content of this class is very, very important. Okay. So this one, we try to correct that. Even it's not in English. I don't know who found that. Probably some overseas Chinese people who helped us. Okay. So on June 2016, the Chinese Taipei versus Cambodia. Something happened like this. And this is definitely not the only one. Okay. So when hosting international sporting events such as the IOC organized or the Olympic movement events, Olympic protocol and the regulations apply. Olympic protocol or Olympic model, we use that interchangeably. And because the official name is so long. So when hosting non-IOC recognized or Olympic movement events, regulation of individual organization applies. Well, life will be a bit more complicated. If this activity or this game is not under IOC, so they don't have to follow IOC's rule. They don't have to follow that agreement. So recently, a lot of sports federations in Taiwan, they asked us to get the written document for them because they went out with our team and the host do not follow the IOC rule because that's not an IOC games. So hopefully they say if we can get some official document so they can have a solid ground to argue, to correct the mistake. So we wrote a letter to the IOC and IOC returned our letter and verified the agreement, the Olympic model on that. Okay, so if those are not the International Olympic Committee's game, so extra caution should be taken. So when teams from China, Hong Kong, and Macau compete in events to avoid possible disputes, it happens very, very often. If you think we are paying too much attention, let me tell you the truth. People on the other side, they are paying 100 times more attention on those issues. So they do care about that more than we. So we are not trying to tell a joke or try to harass you or something like that. It happens. Okay. 2016 Asian ATU Baseball Championship in Taichung. Oh, this is something really difficult. You know, the people in Taiwan, especially young people, they love this country so much. And they enjoy the freedom to express their voice, to express their thinking. That's the way they live. And a lot of them, they dislike those people on the other side of the street. So whenever they get a chance, they try to show how much I love this country. So in this game, they have the banner say, Taiwan is Taiwan. Taiwan is not Chinese Taipei. They don't like Chinese Taipei. Oh, no problem. Taiwan is Taiwan. Of course Taiwan is Taiwan. However, this game is under the big umbrella of IOC. So this is violating the agreement. This is against the agreement. And you love this country so much, but this is not the way to help our athlete. You are making a lot of extra problem, extra trouble. I don't blame you. I know you love this country, but you're causing a lot of extra trouble. You know, what do we have to do after that? We have to write a very long report. We have to apologize to those international organizations. Say, so sorry, and blah, 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 blah. And what's the reason, blah, 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 blah. So that's the first day. So how about the second day? I mean, those young people, they love Taiwan every day. They would do that. You know what's the host do? So they ask a lot of retired players, retired judges to go to the field, and stand beside the spectator, the audience, and say, young man, I'm so sorry. I know you love this country so much, but there is a rule. Please, don't give our athlete a hard time. I'm here begging you. That's what they did. And also, at the same time, when you are entering into the field, they give you something like the kind of tool, the kind of stuff you can encourage the player. That's how we did. How can you blame the young people? No, you cannot. They just love Taiwan. They express their voice. This is a free country. Okay. So you see, the game official later apologized for rough behavior because in the way they didn't do it very well. Okay, there's another example. 2019 Asia Cup qualifier in Kaohsiung. So again, it's social groups hung banner at spectating seat. Chinese Taipei Football Association was later fined $2,000 by the AFC. So can you blame our people? No. They just love this country. But it does cause some problem and cause some trouble. If we don't deal with that issue in a very good way, we might get disqualified. They do have the right to disqualify us. Okay? So there's a rule. When we go to the game, there's a rule. And that rule is probably different. You probably don't like it. But there is a rule for the game. Okay. Oh, this one. 2017. The ice hockey is U18 World Championship. So you see the audience and the player, well, there's a conflict. It's the same issue. And we know it will still happen. It will happen. It will always happen. So for the people who love this country, so please love the athlete. Try another way to express your voice. Try another way to show your love. And let's protect the athlete and give them a clean and very good environment so they can concentrate on competing. I think that's the best. After all, they've been working so hard for so many years. So let's don't disturb that. Okay, this one. Baseball World Cup 2019 Asia qualification. Chinese Taipei versus Philippines. We don't like Philippine team, right? When I was a kid in the Jones Cup, we don't like Philippine teams. And still, you see, anything wrong? Nothing wrong. I mean, it's in our country, in our field, we have our national flag. Anything wrong? No, nothing wrong at all. But just like I said, there's a rule, there's an agreement. So if you do that, you probably put pressure and give our athlete the hard time. Okay. We don't like the name, but the name at this moment protect us, protect the athlete, protect their right to participate in the game. So let's be more thoughtful. And let them play. Let them play for us. Okay, finally, that's the conclusion. Happy? So the Olympic protocol or Olympic model, the regulation has become international consensus for the two China issue. Or in the political sentence, for the one China issue. Okay, so this ripple effect is beyond the control of Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee. We are not a political party. We are not a political group. So what we do is try our best to protect our athletes, to let them have the right to enjoy the right that belongs to them. That's our job. And there's a lot of issues. They are highly related to politics, and it's very difficult for us to deal with that. Okay, wake up. It's finished. Put your hands together. I did very well, okay? I deserve some encouragement. Thank you very much.